Hello, my dears. In the video today, I'm going to talk you through how we pronounce H and, more importantly, where we pronounce H and where we drop H. So when we're thinking about H, there are three separate groups. The first group contains words like happy and Harry and hippo and hello. Okay, these are words where we do pronounce H. We have no real choice in a standard British English accent. Okay, the H is there. And then we have a second group, and this includes words like rhythm or ghost or light, where we don't pronounce H. It's there in the spelling, but it's not a sound that we pronounce. But then we have this third group of words, and this is where we're going to focus mostly today. This group of words, sometimes we pronounce H, sometimes we don't. It is optional and it depends on the context of where you say the word. And the words in this group include things like he and her and him and have and had. They're function words. They're words that assist us with the grammar, but they don't really carry meaning as such. Okay, they're grammatical terms. And whether or not we pronounce the H in these words depends on whether they are stressed or whether they are unstressed. When they're unstressed, we call them weak forms. Before I give you examples of these weak forms and explain this to you, I just want to explain to you how we actually pronounce the H. So H in a British English accent is a very, very soft sound. It's really like breathing. So we have like that. There's no vibration here in the throat. It's not a voiced sound. It's completely voiceless. And any vibration, any richness you hear in this sound is coming from the sound afterwards. So if I say a word like hello, the H here is voiceless, but the vowel after it is voiced. Okay, so we have hello, hello, hello. Okay, you can hear that, can't you? It's a really soft sound. Okay, so where then do we pronounce H and where is it okay to drop it in this small group of words? Well, let's have a look at this mini conversation here. He's already here. Oh, I haven't seen him yet. He's already here. Oh, I haven't seen him yet. So the first part of this, he's already here. We've got the H in he's and the H in here. And in both of these situations, in both of these words, you can hear it. It is pronounced, he's already here. I could say he's already here, okay? But it wouldn't really be considered standard English, okay? He's already here. Why are we pronouncing H at the beginning of he's? Well, it's because it's the first word in the sentence. So we are more likely here to keep the H in this context at the beginning of a sentence, at the beginning of an utterance. Here, again, is new information. So we are more likely to hold on to H here. He's already here. However, the reply, oh, I haven't seen him yet, does not really contain new information. It's linking back to what has already been said. Oh, I haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen him yet. So him, H is dropped, and it's absolutely fine to do that. I haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen him yet. I could say I haven't seen him yet. Okay, nothing wrong with it, but we don't tend to do that. I haven't seen him yet. I haven't seen him yet. And the first haven't at the start of the word, the H there is also dropped, but I think this is more optional. So some people are going to say, oh, I haven't seen him yet. Some people can say, oh, I haven't seen him yet. And either are absolutely fine. But that second him is almost definitely going to have a dropped H there. And then let's look at this second example here. Have you brought Liz's coat? Could you give it to her? Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to say, have you brought Liz's coat? Could you give it to her? Have you brought Liz's coat? Could you give it to her? So the first H in have you, is retained. It's the beginning of the utterance. It's more important here that we pronounce this sound. Can you give it to her? Can you give it to her? Her, we've dropped the H. We've dropped most of the sound, actually, haven't we? We've dropped most of the word. It just becomes a schwa. Could you give it to her? Could you give it to her? Her, we already know we're talking about Liz, so it's not so crucial that this is pronounced fully. We know what word it is going to be here, so we don't need to pronounce it so carefully. Okay? Or another way of saying this, could you give her her coat back? Could you give her her coat back? Her. Okay, so we've got the double her there in the middle. And again, what we're probably going to do here is drop both of these H's. Could you give her a coat back? Could you give her a coat back? A coat back. Could you give her a coat back? Could you give her a coat back? So both H's have been dropped here. And what's really interesting here, do you notice this R sound has come in? Could you give her a coat back? Could you give her a coat back? Give her a coat back. Give her a coat back. Because we dropped the H for the second her, which now means that that second her begins with a vowel sound, which now means that the R preceding it is pronounced. Could you give her a coat back? Could you give her a coat back? If you're interested in linking and intrusive R's, I've got a video there for you. All right, we're going to look at some more examples then of sentences with these weak forms in. I'm going to talk you through when we're pronouncing these H's and when we're not. Have a look at this one here. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. So he's here has been completely reduced. The he's has become is. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. He's going to go. He's going to go. He's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. Okay. If you want to say, I don't think he's going to go, you can do that. But it really stresses it. And it stresses it in such a way that you really want to draw attention to him. Okay. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. Okay. Somebody else might, but I don't think he will. Okay. Whereas if you drop the H, it's more neutral. I don't think he's going to go. I don't think he's going to go. All right. Okay. Let's look at another example. Have you heard from him yet? Have you heard from him yet? So we've got some words here with the H where we must keep it. And we've got some words here where it's optional. Have you heard from him yet? So we need to keep the H in heard. Okay, we have no choice over the matter with this one. Have and him, we have a choice. Probably we're going to keep the H in have because it's the start of the utterance. And probably with him, we're going to drop it. Have you heard from him yet? Have you heard from him yet? Him. There's no other word that could be other than him. We don't need that H for understanding what's being said here. It's absolutely understandable to say him. Have you heard from him yet? Have you heard from him yet? From him yet? From him yet? Have you heard from him yet? Have you heard from him yet? All right, let's have a look at another example. Have you got it? Have you got it? Stressed, the beginning of the utterance. Next one. What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? What have you? What have you? Have's gone. Okay. What have you? What have you? So the H has gone completely, and most of the rest of the word has gone here. What have you? What have you? What have you? What have you got? What have you got? What have you got? And you hear that glottal stop at the end, and there's a video here for you about glottal stops if you're interested in that. Right. Next example, let's have a look at this one. Could he have forgotten? Could he have forgotten? Two weak forms here, have and he. Could he have? Could he have? Could he have? Could he have forgotten? Could he have forgotten? And then just to show this contrast between the same words being used in a weak as a weak form versus as a strong form, we could say, yes, he has. Yes, he has. Okay, he has. I haven't forgotten, but he has. Yes, he has. He has. He has. Okay. Next example. Do you remember telling her? Do you remember telling her? Do you remember telling her? And look, another example again of her, which has been reduced completely, and it has become that schwa sound, that Do you remember telling her? Do you remember telling her? Do you remember telling her? Okay, so that was a really fast introduction to these weak forms of H. it will really help your pronunciation, and it will really help your listening skills if you rewatch this, if you really focus on what you're hearing from native speakers, listen to all the places that we are dropping these H's, because it is very common. Hope that was helpful for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions for future videos. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day.